Hello, physicist. Welcome to the world of physics. And we have a learning education in physics, specifically in electromagnetic wave. But before we discuss that, I almost forgot to introduce myself. By the way, I am Alshainti Dugasan. And especially, let's welcome our special guest, Ma'am Mika Ezra Chang Aquino. So now, let's go back to the topic. What is electromagnetic wave? Accordingly, electromagnetic wave or EM waves are waves that are created as a result of vibration between an electric field and a magnetic field. In other words, electromagnetic waves are composed of oscillating magnetic and electric field. How do electromagnetic waves formed? Electromagnetic forms when an electric field comes in contact with a magnetic field and known as the electromagnetic waves. The electric field and magnetic field of an electromagnetic wave are perpendicular to each other and to direction of the wave. What is the importance of electromagnetic wave? Nonetheless, electromagnetic waves are vital to how we sense and experience from radio to cell phone to microwave oven, X-ray, radar waves, television, and infrared wave from heater provide warmth. The most important of this is visible light, which enable us to see. Electromagnetic wave and their uses. Radio wave, as we know, the communication to transmit voice message from one to another. The microwave heating data transmission. Infrared waves used in remote control and imaging application. Visible light help us see everything around us. Ultraviolet useful in the study of galaxies. How do electromagnetic wave work? We humans are surrounded by the electromagnetic radiation. Have you ever thought the physics behind this traveling electromagnetic wave? Are you familiar with the great scientist Heinrich Hertz was a German physicist who applied Maxwell theories in 1857 to 1894. He was the first man to transmit and detect electromagnetic wave. So here is the experiment of Heinrich Hertz. In his famous experiment, is a high voltage current was applied to the two ends of the two metal wire, in which generate a spark in the gap between them. This spark result in the radiation of electromagnetic wave. Those electromagnetic wave travel through the air and create a spark in a metal coil located on meters away. So in this case, which mean the electromagnetic can travel through space, or in other words, this is a clear case of propagation and detection. James Clerk Maxwell, 1831-1879. A brilliant mathematician, had already laid out the foundation for electromagnetic radiation by formulating for mathematical equation or Maxwell equations. As you can see here, how do electromagnetic detach themselves? As I mentioned earlier about Hertz's experiment, the electromagnetic wave, first he had demonstrated in the concrete what Maxwell had only theorized, that the velocity of radio wave was equal to a velocity of light. Second, Hertz found out how to make the electric field detach themselves from wires and go free as Maxwell waves. To better understand how does it work, Let's say that we have an electric charge which is moving at the constant speed. The electric field around it is shown. So as you can see, the positive and negative electric field. Now, imagine for a fraction of a second is accelerate. After that, it continues its uniform motion at a speed at a higher speed. What we need to understand is the effect of this acceleration on the electric field. And the electric field cannot break because of the transition known as the kink. The kink move or radiate outward at the speed of light. As you can see in the picture, that accelerate of charge has caused an electromagnetic disturbance or the electromagnetic radiation. So the kinks is here. As you can see, I put an arrow on that. So this is the kinks. Let's move on. To understand further, let's go to the antenna technology. Where the experiment in the field of antenna technology, the oscillating electric dipole. Dipoles is the produced electromagnetic radiation in a perfectly sinusoidal manner, which means act like a sine curve or Zener curve. To further understand that how velocity and acceleration vary, it is clear that at both ends, the velocity should be zero, and in the middle, the velocity should be at the maximum. In this case, it refers to the continuous acceleration and deceleration. Acceleration and deceleration means if a negative charge is moving in the same direction as the electric field vector and particles will decelerate. If it is moving in the opposite direction, it will accelerate. So, let's go to the electromagnetic spectrum. What is electromagnetic spectrum? The electromagnetic spectrum describes all of the kinds of light, including those the human eye cannot see. Other types of light include radio waves, microwaves, infrared radiation, ultraviolet rays, X-ray, and gamma rays, all of which are imperceptible to human eyes. The entire distributions of electromagnetic radiation according to frequency or wavelength. It consists of many sub-range. So these are the sub-range of electromagnetic radiation. So as you can see, the picture, the electromagnetic spectrum from the radio to the gamma rays, it specifically. Electromagnetic wave, the wave is inversely proportional to frequency of the wave. Waves with a higher frequency have shorter wavelength, and the lower frequency have the longer wavelength. Okay, have you wondered why voice or text messages can transmit similarly with the speed of light? Because the electromagnetic radiation is an electric and magnetic disturbance traveling through space at the speed of light. And this is the unique or special feature of electromagnetic wave. How important electromagnetic spectrum? The electromagnetic spectrum is basis on which our universe operates. Without it, we wouldn't be able to see. Stars wouldn't shine, and life would not exist. It is one of the most important particles that govern everything around us. How important the electromagnetic wave in our daily life? So electromagnetic wave shape modern life in many ways. The communication by using gadget, especially the cell phone or the Wi-Fi connection, radio with the help of antenna, medical imaging techniques such as X-ray, oven that used for cooking our food to eat. In short, we are under governed by the electromagnetic wave. Advantage and disadvantage of electromagnetic wave. Advantage first is the I mean advantage and disadvantage of electromagnetic wave. Let's discuss first the advantage. Method of communication does not require wire to transmit information. So as you can see, by using our cell phone, we can communicate with our parents through cell phones even though they are far from us. See, that's how beautiful electromagnetic wave is. But there's a disadvantage of electromagnetic, like radio can be interfere because of the similar transmission frequency. So as you can see, if you use the radio, so uh I mean if other person have also a radio, they can uh they can easily to interfere with your information. So let's summary our discussion. Electromagnetic wave travel with the speed of light. They have a different wavelength and frequency. Long wavelength have a lowest frequency. Short wavelength have a highest frequency. The higher frequency, the higher the energy. Visible light is only a small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum. So that's all. Okay, before we end, according to Lewin, I will make you love physics and your life will never be the same. Listening. Thank you for watching and listening.